Hello, it's Michael here again. Welcome back to the Joy of Code. Today a very small episode where I don't really show you any new techniques, but I show you new ways to apply what you have learned before. I have here a different project and I'll just show you what it does. It's the beginning of a breakout game. Just there are the blocks missing here. If I run this, I can with my keyboard move my pedal left and right, and with a spacebar release the ball. And you see when the ball is flying, it bounces off the edges and it leaves this greenish smoke effect. So what I want to talk about is this smoke effect here. So it has the ball leaves the smoke trail behind it. And in fact, you know everything you need to know now to create a visual effect like this. I'll show you how that is working. I'll just explain to you how the smoke effect is created. There is a smoke class here, and when I create a smoke object and put that in, a smoke object is in fact just this one roundish semi-transparent puff of smoke. So it's just a greenish blob. That is what a smoke object looks like. And if you want to know what the behavior of the smoke object is, if you look at that, if I tell it to act, if you look very closely, it just shrinks a little bit. It goes a little bit smaller every time. We can see that better if I run the scenario. So if I click run now and you keep an eye on this smoke blob here, if I run this, you'll see what it does is it just fades away. So if we can do that again, I take a smoke object and see when I drop that in, the behavior of the smoke object is just it gets smaller and smaller at every act step, and when it's really small, it just disappears. And the way it is done to create this smoke trail is just that the ball, while it is traveling through my world, just leaves lots of objects of smoke behind it in the world, and they all shrink away and create this trail effect. So this is very similar to what we have done with the colored balls before in our previous project. There we have in every act step we have made that ball a little bit more transparent, and when it was completely transparent we removed it from the world. The smoke does exactly the same, only it does it with size rather than transparency. If we look at this, the act method, all that the act method does is call a shrink method, and the shrink method essentially just says this: make the image a bit smaller and show it again. And then there's an if statement in front of it and says, okay, if our size is already pretty small, then we just remove ourselves from the world. So in fact here it says if the size of our image is less than 10, the width to be exact, then we remove ourselves from the world. And otherwise, if we're still bigger than 10, here is a call to the image scale method that scales the image to make it a bit smaller. And it makes it a bit smaller by having here a value fade that gets set here in the constructor that says by how much it should get smaller. And there it just gets its image, gets the width of the image, subtracts something from it, and uses that as the new size. So this is essentially very similar to fading out the ball that we have done before. Here we're just shrinking the image of our smoke puff. And that is really all you need to create an effect like this. The pedal code, if you look at that, is reasonably straightforward. It just says, if we are pressing the left key, move to the left. If you're pressing the right key, move to the right. And if we have the ball still on the pedal and we press the space, then we release the ball. And you can look through these short, simple methods yourself. They are pretty straightforward. And then the last thing is the ball. The most interesting is how the ball makes the smoke. There's this make smoke method, and that just says, add an object, a new object of type smoke at my own location. That's the location of the ball. So while the ball moves, it just puts new smoke into the world. And then there is this if statement around it, because I decided that there was just too much smoke at the beginning. And I wanted a bit less smoke, so I decided I want that only at every second act step. I want a puff of smoke. So I have here a counter that gets initially, there must be somewhere right at the top, gets started off with 2. And I count down every time I put a smoke object in you know, I set it back to 2. And at every step, I counted down this decrements the counter by 1. And if I hit 0, that is at every second step, I put a smoke object in. So this is just to give you an idea what you can achieve with just the statements and the image effects that you know already now. So this is quite a nice effect, and that shows you, gives you some idea what to do. By the way, this example is an example from the Greenfoot book. You can get that from the Greenfoot book website. There is here somewhere at greenfoot.org/book is this website for the book. This is what it looks like. And even if you don't want to buy the book, you can download the book scenarios here from the book website. So this is all the code that is used and discussed in the book. Of course, you can buy the book. By all means, go buy the book, put it on your wish list for your birthday or for Christmas or something if you want to. But you can just go to the website, download the scenarios. There are many scenarios discussed in the book. This smoke example is one of them, and you can go and try it out. Go study the code. You should be able to make sense of it by now. You know all you need to know to do this. And then later maybe we can work on completing this game and making a full breakout game out of it. Okay, go ahead, play around with it, have fun, ask questions if you have any. Bye bye.